The original arrival of pigeons in New York City can be traced back to European colonization in the 1600s. Pigeons, specifically the rock dove, Columba livia, are not native to the Americas. European settlers brought them across the Atlantic as a practical and versatile resource. In their homelands, pigeons were domesticated for various purposes, including as a reliable source of meat and their remarkable homing instincts, which made them invaluable as messengers. These traits ensured their place on long transatlantic voyages, where they were introduced to the new colonies, including what is now New York City. Once in the New World, pigeons quickly adapted to their new environment. The natural cliffs and rocky terrains they inhabited in their native Mediterranean regions were mirrored by the stone buildings and ledges of the growing city. The settlers' need for these birds dwindled over time as other food sources and communication methods became more accessible, leading many of the domesticated pigeons to escape or be released. These feral birds found an abundance of food and shelter in the urban landscape, and without significant natural predators, their numbers began to grow exponentially. As New York City expanded throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, so did the pigeon population. The industrialization of the city created an abundance of structures that provided perfect roosting spots for pigeons, while human waste and discarded food gave them a steady and reliable diet. By this time, pigeons were no longer regarded solely as utility animals, but had become a familiar part of city life. They were embraced by some, particularly among immigrant communities, who kept them for sport or as a nostalgic tie to their cultural heritage. Pigeons' arrival and flourishing in New York City offer a lens into the unintended consequences of human activity. What began as a deliberate introduction of a useful species evolved into an iconic, if polarizing, feature of urban life. Their history is a fascinating tale of adaptation and survival, intertwined with the city's own transformation from a colonial outpost to a bustling metropolis. Pigeons have played significant roles in human society for thousands of years, far beyond being a ubiquitous feature of modern urban life. Their remarkable homing abilities and resilience have made them valuable companions to humans in communication, agriculture, and even warfare. In earlier societies, pigeons were highly regarded as messengers. Known as carrier pigeons, they were used to carry messages across long distances, particularly in regions where other means of communication were unavailable or unreliable. This role was especially prominent in ancient civilizations like Egypt and Mesopotamia, where pigeons were among the earliest methods of airmail. During times of war, pigeons proved to be indispensable. They were used extensively in both world wars to deliver critical messages between units, often saving lives in the process. Pigeons like Cher Ami, who famously delivered a life-saving message during World War I despite being severely injured, became celebrated war heroes. Their contributions earned them honors and cemented their legacy. As more than mere birds, they were considered vital tools for military strategy and communication. In an era before electronic communication, pigeons provided a dependable lifeline in challenging and dangerous situations. In agriculture, pigeons have also played a role as a source of food and fertilizer. For centuries, their droppings, known as guano, were highly valued as a natural fertilizer due to their high nitrogen content, which is essential for plant growth. This made pigeon farming an important practice in many agricultural societies. Additionally, their meat, referred to as squab, was considered a delicacy in various cultures and remains a sought-after dish in some parts of the world today. Beyond these practical roles, pigeons have held cultural and symbolic significance throughout history. They are often associated with peace, love, and fidelity, symbolized by the image of a white dove, a domesticated form of pigeon. Artists and writers have frequently drawn upon the pigeon as a muse, representing themes of resilience, adaptability, and connection. Today, while their societal roles have diminished with modern advancements, pigeons remain an enduring symbol of humanity's long-standing relationship with the natural world, showcasing the profound ways humans and animals have historically intertwined. The exponential growth of pigeons in New York City and other urban areas can be attributed to a combination of their adaptability, the city's environment, and human behavior. Once pigeons were introduced to the Americas by European settlers, many of them escaped domestication or were released, forming feral populations. These birds quickly adapted to urban environments, which mimicked their natural habitats. Tall buildings, bridges, and other urban structures provide nesting and roosting opportunities that resemble the rocky cliffs where they originated. This compatibility with the built environment allowed their numbers to grow unchecked. One of the primary drivers of their population explosion was the abundance of food in the city. Pigeons are opportunistic feeders, capable of eating a wide range of foods, including grains, bread, and discarded scraps. In densely populated cities like New York, food waste is plentiful, ensuring that pigeons have a nearly unlimited supply of nourishment. Additionally, many residents and tourists actively feed pigeons, whether out of affection, habit, or amusement, further boosting their food supply. This abundance of resources supports high reproductive rates, as pigeons can breed year-round in favorable conditions. Another factor contributing to their rapid population growth is the lack of significant predators in urban areas. While some birds of prey, such as peregrine falcons, occasionally hunt pigeons, their impact on the overall population is minimal. With few natural checks to their reproduction and survival, pigeons are free to multiply at an extraordinary rate. Each pair of pigeons can produce multiple broods annually, with each brood typically consisting of 1 or 2 chicks. This rapid reproductive cycle has allowed their numbers to increase exponentially over time. The growth of pigeon populations is also a reflection of how urban environments provide a unique ecosystem tailored to human activity. Pigeons have thrived in this symbiotic relationship with cities, capitalizing on human infrastructure and behaviors. Their exponential growth, while sometimes viewed as a nuisance, is a testament to their resilience and adaptability. It also underscores the unintended consequences of urbanization, where human actions inadvertently create ideal conditions for certain species to flourish. New York City has implemented various strategies over the years to control its booming pigeon population, driven by concerns about public health, property damage, and nuisance complaints. One of the earliest measures was encouraging residents and businesses to avoid feeding pigeons, as the abundance of food was directly linked to their rapid reproduction. The city enacted laws prohibiting the feeding of pigeons in public spaces, supported by public awareness campaigns to educate people about the negative impacts of overpopulation. Additionally, city officials worked to improve waste management systems, such as covering trash bins and reducing accessible food waste to limit pigeons' food sources. To further curb the growth of pigeon populations, the city has employed humane population control methods. For instance, the use of ovocontrol, a contraceptive-laced bird feed, has been implemented in some areas. This approach helps reduce reproduction without harming the existing bird population. Building modifications have also been introduced to deter nesting, such as installing netting, spikes, and other architectural features that make it difficult for pigeons to roost on ledges and structures. Despite these efforts, controlling the pigeon population remains a challenge, as their adaptability and the continued feeding by some residents and tourists ensure their presence as a persistent and iconic part of the cityscape. Pigeons persist in New York City for survival by leveraging their incredible adaptability and the abundance of resources that urban environments provide. Their natural behaviors, such as nesting on rocky cliffs, have seamlessly transitioned to city structures like skyscrapers, bridges, and ledges, which mimic their ancestral habitats. These birds are also opportunistic feeders, capable of eating a wide range of foods, from discarded scraps to seeds and grains. With the city's dense population generating constant food waste, pigeons have access to an almost unlimited supply of nourishment, enabling them to thrive despite their reliance on human environments. In addition to abundant food and shelter, pigeons benefit from the absence of significant predators in urban areas. While birds of prey, such as peregrine falcons, occasionally hunt them, their impact is not enough to significantly reduce the population. Furthermore, pigeons' resilience and high reproductive rates ensure their survival. They breed year-round in favorable conditions, with each pair capable of producing multiple broods annually. This adaptability, combined with human activities like unintentional feeding and waste generation, ensures that pigeons remain a persistent and resilient presence in New York City's ecosystem. Pigeons are an enduring symbol of New York City, reflecting a complex relationship between humans and wildlife that spans centuries. Introduced by European settlers in the 1600s, these birds were initially valued for their utility as messengers, sources of food, and fertilizer. As the city grew, pigeons adapted to the urban environment, taking advantage of tall buildings and abundant food waste to thrive. Their roles in agriculture, communication, and even wartime heroics highlight their historical significance, not only in New York, but across human civilization. Over time, they transitioned from being practical companions to an iconic, if controversial, feature of the cityscape, deeply embedded in the cultural fabric of NYC. Despite efforts to control their population, pigeons have persisted, a testament to their adaptability and resilience. They have carved out a niche in the urban ecosystem, thriving on human activity while embodying the city's own themes of survival and innovation. Their early significance, whether as a symbol of immigrant traditions or as critical messengers during wars, adds a layer of depth to their presence in NYC culture. Today, pigeons remain an unmistakable part of the city's identity, illustrating the lasting impact of history, human behavior, and the shared spaces of an ever-changing urban world.